Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Welcome to the world's best betting on pro wrestling podcast. It's Going Over Bet Pro Wrestling. I'm Vintown. With me, as always, is the Scotsman. Scotsman, how's it going?
It's going awesome, man. Getting really pumped for the next couple of weeks of AEW television. Milwaukee, Chicago, CM Punk, all that stuff. And you know, it's one of those things where I actually think it'll be better to watch on TV as opposed to being there live. Do you agree with that?
No, I will be there live for more shows, so I'm going to need some good betting upsets to come through if I'm going to pay for all these shows that I have tickets to.
Yeah, I feel real sorry for you for that, I gotta say. Hey, something I just thought of, actually, just before the podcast went on air. You know how AEW has really bad luck with certain things? Jericho's bump off the cage and the exploding barbed wire match and how that fizzled out at the end.
Okay.
What if they have the same bad luck with CM Punk's debut and it happens during picture-in-picture? Like, you can see that, right? Like, that's AEW's luck. That's what'll bloody happen now.
Yeah,
like,
for be like a beer commercial too, so.
Oh, no, and they're all complaining because of the straight edge of promoting it and so on. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Well, it won't be in commercial for people who are there live like me, so, you know.
Yeah, you'll miss out. So today, we're going to be talking about every single betting upset in the history of All Elite Wrestling. Despite its infancy, it's only been around a couple of years. It's had a ton of betting upsets. A large reason for that is because they book with common sense, and most people in sports books aren't used to common sense booking. They're used to 50-50, buddy your hometown hero, and fire everyone that's over 30 years old booking. So I'm going to list, let's say there's been just like over 20 betting upsets. AEW has had something like betting upsets in 40% of matches, which is really crazy because most WWE pay-per-views range between 17% to 26%. So,
Wow.
yeah, that says it all right there. So this is only top 5 betting upsets. I'm going to list them all off, and Vince can react to them and act shocked because he obviously did not bet any of them. And they're all plus 200 odds and above. So are we ready for number 5?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Revolution 2021. Scorpio Sky wins the Face of the Revolution ladder match as a plus 225 underdog.
Yeah, I would say I was definitely surprised by that one when that happened. I did not think he would win.
Well, that was one where it's one where you can actually easily look back at hindsight and see it, because on the Dynamite before, I think we briefly chatted about it on the podcast that week too. On the Dynamite before, Scorpio Sky was on guest commentary, and he started acting really heelish for what seemed to be no reason at all. So it seemed clear a turn was underway and a potential push, and it is one of those things that when you look back at in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, I could see why that happened.
Yeah, definitely.
Cody Rhodes was the favourite in that one at plus 175. By the way, a little known fact, our mantra here is always bet on Charlotte in WWE. You might want to do always bet on Cody, because even though he didn't make a top 5 list for wins, he does have 3 betting upsets in the history of AEW. He beat Lance Archer, he beat Shawn Spears, and he beat Anthony Ogogo, who the internet is really happy with that one currently. Okay, number 4 in the top 5 AEW betting upsets list, plus 275 odds. Double or Nothing 2020, the mystery participant wins a casino ladder match. Can you remember who the mystery participant was, Vince?
Yeah, I believe that was Brian Cage. And I
Nice.
think that we had that. I think we said, if you get a chance to bet on the mystery person, always bet on the mystery person, especially with those odds.
Well, that was the nice thing too, is that AEW, they use the mystery person like every battle royal and ladder match. So it was really nice that they actually got him to win one, because now it's like, okay, the mystery wrestler could win other ones too. Darby Allin was a favourite in that one at plus 175 odds. It's weird thinking back, but I remember at that time a lot of people talking about Darby winning to face Mox, and it was one of those things that I feel like it made sense at the time to discuss, but then when you think back, it's like, oh, I'm glad they didn't go that way.
Right. I can't remember who we tipped at the time, but I don't think we were on Darby. I think we were definitely...
Yeah, I believe we did the mystery participant.
Yeah, we were definitely on Darby or... the mystery person. Yeah, based on who was in that match, it definitely seemed like it was going to be the mystery person, because it wasn't going to be Kip Sabian. It wasn't going to be Joey Janela, Darby at the time was the best bet, but as it turned out...
Yeah, both him and Scorpio had video packages hyping them going into it, so I think that was some of the reasoning why both of them were considered potential winners, just because of the video packages.
Right.
And the others, no one gave a crap. Poor Kip
right.
never got his video package.
Kip Sabian with Jimmy Havoc and Penelope Ford. Oh wait, maybe I should bleep out that name I just said.
Yeah, you don't want to mention Penelope Ford. Alright, the third biggest betting upset in AEW history, plus 300 odds, All Out 2020. Team Dustin, which was Dustin Rhodes, QT Marshall, Matt Cardona, and Scorpio Sky. Man, Scorpio's involved a lot. Defeat the Dark Order.
This is still baffling to me to this day. Why did the Dark Order lose? This was right after Brody Lee destroyed Cody. And then he's going to lose to a team that involves QT Marshall and Matt Cardona. It made no sense then. It still makes no sense. I want a time machine to go back in time and slap Tony Khan in the face and say, hey, look, you might not have Brody around much longer. You better make sure he pins Matt Cardona clean in the middle of the ring.
What a thing, you time travel back and say you might not have Brody around much longer. Is that a threat? That's going to freak him right out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would maybe try to save him somehow also, but just from strictly, if I could only go back in time and change wrestling booking,
That's the one thing you would do. There's nothing else in wrestling booking you would change, just that.
No.
Well, that one, I actually tipped Team Dustin to win, but it was one where I stumbled into it. My betting theory was off. I thought that at the time Scorpio Sky was getting a push as a face, and I felt this would be a great spot to showcase him and have him go over and so on. But I was wrong. Dustin was the one that actually got the win, and this ended up being the beginning of the Brody revealing his true colours to Colt Cabana, giving him the verbal beatdown for the first time and all that. So,
right. And I believe Dustin got a title shot out of it, but it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it was a weird one. Brody was really hot at the time too, obviously, and it is what it is. Number 2, plus 500 odds. Hangman Adam Page wins the Casino Battle Royale at Double or Nothing 2019.
This one, I remember this because it was really awkward the way they set it up. He was supposed to wrestle Pac on the show, I believe. And Pac couldn't make it. And then I think on BTE at the time, Hangman said that he wouldn't be on the show. And then everyone's just like, oh, he's not going to be here. He's not going to be here. And it seemed like that was real.
Yeah, because he wasn't even announced for the Battle Royal.
Right.
So he was actually...
He was the Joker.
Despite not being announced, he was the favourite actually all week long at plus 250 odds. Then the morning of the pay-per-view, the online sportsbooks added John Moxley to the betting odds as second favourite, plus 600 odds. And then everyone bet the crap out Moxley to win. And by the time, 2 hours later, Moxley was a heavy favourite at plus 100 odds, and Hangman dropped to the plus 500 odds. So if anyone bet late on they made some serious bank in that one.
And if anyone bet on Moxley who's listening to this, I'm glad you listened to our podcast now, because that would be the dumbest thing to bet on Moxley. Yeah, John Moxley's going to leave WWE and debut in AEW on the pre-show. That's what's going to happen. Come on. I mean, use your brains here, people.
That's a problem, and that's why wrestling betting's actually very profitable, because most people don't. Most people look for the easiest fancy booking solution, and that's one of them. Ooh, mystery participant. Ooh, number one contender. Ooh, Mox should fight for the world title. Boom, there's your fancy booking. And then they don't actually take that little step back and look at it. So if you bet on wrestling, always take that step back and always think about the future, not just the easiest booking solution. And now, the biggest betting upset in the history of All Elite Wrestling. Can you guess what it is before I say it?
I honestly can't. I really have no idea.
Plus 600 odds. Double or Nothing 2021. Jungle Boy wins the Casino Battle Royale.
Okay. That
That was the one where Christian had recently joined the company.
Right.
Got
That's
an altercation with Kenny, and he was the favorite to win.
That's a deal where it's like you said earlier, like in hindsight, it makes sense, because I think Jungle Boy had been the runner-up in like 3 different battle royals. So it was like, eventually he's going to do this. And
he's the one that would need it more than Christian, really. Plus,
right.
the reaction to Christian was a bit mixed, so I think, Christian going over there would be a very typical WWE/Impact deal, so it's probably for the best that it didn't happen.
Yeah, this is a deal where if wrestling had live betting, I would have been all over it, because once it got down to like the final 4 or 5, and Jungle Boy was still in there, and you heard the crowd reacting to him, it's like, oh my god, they're insane. If Jungle Boy doesn't win this,
I remember sitting there on the edge of my couch, like, caring about that. Like, I remember, oh my god, please, like, Tony K, if you have to, call an audible and make Jungle Boy win if he's not planned to, because this is going to kill this crowd. Luckily, they booked it correctly.
Right.
And that was actually one, sorry to interrupt, that was one where Christian was actually, when we did the podcast that week, Christian was about plus 350 odds to win, and we were talking about how at that price he might be a good bet, and Jungle Boy was about plus 350. And then by the day of the show, or the day before the show, Christian was heavy favourite, like plus 150, plus 200. Jungle Boy was plus 600. And when I was writing my betting tips for BetWE.com, I said, these odds, you have to bet Jungle Boy. This is just a stupid bet not to make. So luckily it came in there.
Yeah, I believe on the podcast I tipped Christian heavily, which, clearly is what shifted the lines. So many of our listeners following my tips because they believe in me. And I'm sorry I let you down. But really, once the Joker was Leo Rush, like, you just knew it was Christian or Jungle Boy. And if they had a clue, it would be Jungle Boy. And it was.
Yeah, and it worked out really well. Yeah, like, so just to recap, the top 5 betting upsets: Scorpio Sky wins Face of Revolution ladder match. Brian Cage wins the Casino ladder match. Team Justin defeats Dark Order. Adam Page. I like that name, though. That could be Adam Cole's name when he joins, They could be like a tag team, Page and Page. Hangman Adam Page wins the Casino Battle Royal. And then Jingle Boy wins the Casino Battle Royal. So basically, bet underdogs in battle royals or ladder match or anything involving the word casino. That seems to be the strategy.
That's the way to go.
And always bet on Cody.
Yeah, definitely. I've lost plenty of money betting against Cody. Never again. All right, well, that's it. If you want to find the next great betting upset, be sure to like and subscribe our podcast, and also check us out on the web at
betwrestlingpodcast.com, and check us out on Twitter. Email us at goingoverpodcast@gmail.com. We will be covering SummerSlam betting tips in the next couple of weeks, and then All Elite Wrestling has a little show that we will be covering, and yeah, hopefully more betting tip upsets articles if you like them, or podcasts I should say. And yeah, that's basically it.